The first card you have, your past, is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so obviously this knight is rushing forward. He's not thinking what he's doing. He's just rushing. I'm going to rush in. I'm going to fight them. All of that kind of thing. I don't care about what's happening, what I should be doing. I'm just going to do what my feelings tell me to do. And I think that's what you were doing at this time. And I know I'm saying feelings, but I don't think this is about love. I think what was happening here is that you were rushing ahead with some areas of your life that you found to be really fun, really interesting, all the fun stuff, all of that thing. And that's fine, that's a good thing to be doing. But I think you were neglecting some things. One specific thing I'm seeing that you really should have been concentrating on. Now, it's something that you've been putting off. And I think, there's nothing wrong with doing all these fun things that you were doing. But I think you just had this, when you went to do this really thing that was really kind of, that you were putting off, that you found difficult, I think you had this horrible feeling when you thought of doing it. It was like you knew you had to do this thing, but then you had a horrible feeling around it that was stopping you from doing it. You do have to do this. I hate to tell you this because I know you just want to go off and do all the fun stuff and other stuff. And even stuff that isn't fun, that you kind of don't feel as bad about you doing, you don't mind doing. But there's one thing that you have some mental block about, or you have some bad feeling about, and I don't know why, because I don't think this is a bad thing. I think this is something that is really good for you to do. I think this is something that you know that you should do, and you know that you want to do as well. But then when you go to do it, you just have this horrible feeling around doing it. So I just think you've got to do something to force yourself to do this thing, because it's a really important thing, and you're doing everything you can to put this off, or you were at this time. You didn't want to see it, you didn't want to think about it, you're doing everything to put it out of your mind. If you look at this knight, he's rushing and rushing ahead, and he can't see what's going behind him. The landscape's going past him really quickly, whizzing past, and he can't see it because he's rushing. You don't want to see what you should be seeing. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So this is like, I don't want to tell you off and say do this, do that, and boss you around, but that's what I'm seeing in that card, that you really need to focus on that very thing that gives you that horrible feeling. It's like, oh, I want to put that off and not do that right now. That's what you should be doing. That's what I'm seeing in that card. I'm sorry, I don't really mean to boss you around. I really don't. The next card you have, your past, is the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, so obviously there's money around this. I don't think you have huge money problems, but I think you're worrying a bit more than you should have been. You're being very careful. Now, you might have been feeling at this time that you weren't careful. Oh no, but I did this and I did that. You were a lot more careful. What's not careful to you is what's careful to other people. Does that make sense? You're a lot more careful than other people. So you might feel as if, oh, I'm not being very careful with my money, I should rein that in. But actually, you're being a lot more careful than you imagine that you are. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Yeah, again, I'm seeing this thing. I'm seeing this thing that's being put off over and over and over again. It's just being put off. You're not doing this thing. Now, I don't know why this is, because there are a lot of areas of your life where you just push forward and do things. It's like, I do this, I do that, I just do it. I don't even think, I do it. I'm like the fool. But with this particular thing, you're just not doing it. You're sitting there really still, not moving. And you're like, oh, I can't do this. I can't move. I don't want to face this thing. You must really, really do this thing. You have to do this thing. Please don't be angry. But, please do this. There's a big imbalance between other areas of your life where you're very successful and this one thing, this one big thing. Now, it's not a big thing for a lot of people, but it seems a big thing to you because you've kind of blown this out of proportion in your mind to being this big, scary thing. So if it's a great big scary thing, just take it one step at a time. If you've got a great big mountain in front of you, you can't kind of leap from the ground floor right up to the top of the mountain. You have to take one step at a time and just look at the step in front of you. If you look right up, you'll think, oh, I'm so scared, I can't do it. Don't look at that. Just look at the one step and then just look at the next step. That might help you to get this thing done, because I think this is a thing that's really, really important. You really need to get this done. So the last card you have your past is Temperance. Yeah, I'm seeing someone around you who you'd actually really, really like to say something to. You'd love to tell them off, actually. And normally you would, you're Aries, but there's something stopping you. I'm getting this feeling of knowing that you said, kind of knowing that if you said something, if you did tell them off, or if you did say, no, this is how I really feel, this is what I really think, you'd be worse off in some way, maybe financially, because this is where this Four of Pentacles is coming in again. I don't know if you rely on this person financially, or if you kind of told them off, they might make things difficult for you. They might make your reputation go down, and that might make you lose money. It might be that, or it might be that they might waste your time and then you lose money that way. It might be that. There's some reason why you're kind of holding back on saying anything to them. Yeah, there's a lot of money around you at the moment, concerns about money, but also a lot of progress in money. I think there's a lot more money coming to you throughout the year, and the year after that as well. I'm definitely seeing progressing in money going upwards, going up a hill, going upwards. And I think you are right, if this is resonating with you, I think you're right not to say anything to this person, because I keep on seeing them being able to make your life difficult in some way. That's what I'm seeing if you cross them. And normally you're the first person to cross someone if they're annoying you or in your way, but you're really holding yourself back around this person. That's what I'm seeing. You're not afraid of them. It's not that. It's just that your logical side stepping in. You're saying, wait a minute, if I jump in, that won't be good for me. That's the kind of thing I'm getting around that. And I think you're generally a lot more restrained than you used to be around people who bother you. I think this is something you've really learned to do. You can't always do this. You're not perfect. Sometimes you get mad at people. That's fine. I mean, it goes against your nature to kind of tame yourself. But you're doing this a lot more often than you used to. And it's been really good for you. And I think you realise that. I think you're seeing that. So yeah, the first card you have your present is the Ten of Swords, yes. So I think this might be following on from what I'm seeing in the Temperance card. I think you've been really wise, again, about what you've been saying around someone, or, what you haven't been saying. I'm also seeing someone who's a little bit shady, someone who sort of seems as if they want to be your friend. They want you to kind of open up to them. That's what I'm seeing. And I think you have some caution around this person. I think you're thinking, no, I'm not going to open up to them. I'm not going to tell them how I'm feeling. I'm not going to tell them what I'm thinking, because it's going to open me up to something not good. I think this person likes to talk. I think maybe they might even like to gossip, and you're not opening yourself up to that. It's not that you can put your finger on what you can't trust them with. It's just a feeling. It's your instincts. That's what I'm seeing. You always should follow them. Yeah, I think this person might be encouraging you or trying to encourage you to confide in them. And I think you're right by not doing that, by kind of keeping up a boundary between you and them. Your instincts are definitely right. There's backstabbing around this. They're going to talk about you behind their back. It's not usually the sort of backstabbing I see in your readings. I see backstabbing all the time, but it's usually jealousy. But that's not what I'm seeing here. So yeah, again, you're right not to give them any information if this is resonating. You can be a little bit over paranoid in not trusting people, but in this case, you're 100% right. That's what I'm seeing. The next card you have your present is the Seven of Pentacles. So I think this is more work and money, obviously. It's about you looking back over your work, looking back over your hard work, and seeing it pay off. And it has absolutely paid off for you. Now, you might not think it's gone as well as it should have, but that's because of you. That's not because it isn't. It's because you're very, very hard on yourself. You're very self-critical. But the work says it all. It speaks for itself. Don't overthink it. It speaks for itself. Your work is good. I think your self-criticism can be a double-edged sword sometimes. On the one hand, it can hold you back in your mind from doing certain things, especially this thing I can see in the Knight of Swords that you have to do. It's holding you back. You're thinking, I'm not good enough. I can't quite do that. I'm getting a bad feeling around this thing I should be doing. I'm not like other people. Other people can do these kinds of adult kind of things easily. I'm not like that. I'm a bit like the fool. I can't cope with day-to-day things like that. It's not easy for me. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting around this. And I feel like that too. I mean, adult things can be a bit boring and confusing. I don't like them. It can feel like a maze navigating day-to-day life sometimes. And so there's that around that. The other thing is, the other side to the sword is that I think the way you criticize yourself sort of pushes you to improve yourself as well. So it can be a positive thing for you as well. It forces you to kind of keep on learning and growing and prospering and doing new things and just churning day in, day out, doing more. And that's what happens as a result of this. You get this beautiful, abundant bush of coins next to you. And then you keep on improving, and you will keep on improving and growing. You're on the right track. And so keep on doing what you're doing, but also don't neglect the other things that you get this bad feeling about, especially this big thing. I know I'm repeating myself, but it keeps on coming up again and again. This big thing that you need to be doing that you're neglecting. Please do this thing. Apply, you're successful in some areas of your life. Apply what makes you successful in that area to this thing that you're putting off and be a success in that area. That's what I'm seeing there. So the last card you have your present is the Hanged Man. Right. I'm getting a love connection around this card. I think there's someone you used to be really, really a bit crazy about, actually. And I think this person turned your whole life upside down, your whole world upside down, like this man who's upside down. I know this is really specific. It's not going to resonate with everyone. Well, nothing ever can anyway, but this is a very specific thing. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. So this person turned your life upside down, and when you were with them, they turned it upside down even more when you separated from them. That's what I'm seeing. It became even worse, even more crazy. Now, because of that being turned upside down and turning your life upside down, it created a huge turnaround in your life. That's what I'm seeing. Now, I think you used this time, I think you used the memories of this person to turn a lot of things around for you, because I keep on seeing this turning around, turning upside down. Now, you used this to improve things for yourself. A lot of things improved in your life. There were still ups and downs as you were improving, as things were progressing. Now, I think there probably still are some ways that this person is still affecting your life right now. I think they might be affecting your life subconsciously. They're affecting you in some good ways and some bad ways. That's what I'm seeing. But, if it wasn't for this person and this terrible, crazy time, this upside down time, you wouldn't be where you are now. Now, I'm not saying things are fantastic and amazing now, but they're better than they were. And I think it's because of, I'm not saying thank this person, they're fantastic. I'm saying because of this time that you went through, that's why you're where you are now. That's what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense. Now, if you're wondering whether this person's forgotten about you, they have not forgotten about you. 100% they have not forgotten about you at all. You are not forgettable. You're Aries, you're not forgettable. You are not. Now, it might have felt as if this person forgot about you, and it might have felt as if a lot of people around them forgot about you as well. None of them have. They absolutely have not. Now, I'm just looking at this tree, and it's in the shape of a letter T. Now, the letter T can represent restlessness. So even now, This person, not all the time, not 24 hours a day, but when they think of you or when they're reminded of you, and I'm getting the feeling that they are reminded of you, they get that restless feeling. They get that kind of not so great feeling, that kind of disheveled feeling, like someone's kind of poked in their heart and they're messing it around. And so they feel a little bit not quite right. That's what I'm getting there with that. That doesn't mean they're coming back. That doesn't mean any of that. But they do think about you. They have not forgotten you. They feel unsettled around the thoughts of you. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the first card you have for your future is the High Priestess. I'm seeing you do have a lot of love offers ahead of you if you're single. And even if you're not single, I think there will still be some people kind of propositioning you. You're probably giving off this air of being unobtainable or untouchable in some way. That's what this High Priestess is like. She's like the untouchable woman. She's kind of up there on a, up there in her throne, and she's kind of knows everything, but she doesn't give a lot away and people can't quite reach her. So you're giving off that kind of air. Now, I think that might be one of the legacies that this person in the Hanged Man brought to you. They brought you the legacy of changing your life around and working toward things in one way and progressing in that way. The negative legacy they have over you is that you're closed off to a lot of people. That's what I'm seeing. And so you're closed off. It's not like you're totally, I'm not talking to you. It's not like you're like that. But you do give this air of being closed off, like this High Priestess, and it almost feels a little bit mysterious to some people. Now, because you are closed off, it can repel some people. They start to feel unwanted and then they back off. That's fine. Some people find it even more compelling. It makes them want to come toward you even more. It's almost like, oh, here's this mysterious person, this kind of code I can't crack. I have to try and crack. I have to try and crack this code. So yeah, so it makes people even more determined to kind of crack the code of you. And so there is one specific person I'm seeing. I think they're very attracted to you. They see you as quite mysterious. They see you as a bit of a challenge. They're going to come forward and keep on trying to connect with you. They're going to communicate with you a lot. They're going to make it very, very, very obvious that they're attracted to you. And the more kind of you back off, the more they come forward. Now, don't be scary. Don't be scared. They're not a kind of a crazy stalker or anything like that. But they are going to be. The more you kind of pull back, the more they push toward you. That's what I'm seeing happening with that. So yeah, the next card you have for your future is the Four of Wands. So yeah, there's growth here. I'm seeing growth in career. There's a lot of money in this reading. I'm seeing a lot of abundance coming forward. This can be the 1111 card. It can be about marriage and celebration, but I'm seeing this as, 1111. Gates opening, good fortune, good things happening. The women at the end of these wands, these number 11s, look as if they're waving to you. They're saying, come through to the other side. And I think when you have achieved this really difficult thing that I keep on telling you, that I keep on seeing you have to achieve, you're going to feel like celebrating. At the moment, it feels like this huge mountain that you can't climb. I can't do this thing. It's so hard. But when it's done, you'll feel like celebrating. So this is another reminder to say, do this thing, walk through the gates, achieve this thing, and this is how you're going to feel afterwards. And again, I'm seeing this as a thing that most people don't see as this great, big, horrible, scary thing, but you do. It doesn't matter what they think. This is how you feel. You really, really, really need to get over this fear about this thing, and you'll be celebrating when you do this. And I'm sorry to keep repeating myself. I just keep on seeing it. So the last card you have for your future is the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, I think this person who's interested in you romantically, this person in the High Priestess, they're definitely going to let you know very, 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 very obviously. They're going to come right up in your face or something like that and say, I really want to be with you. Will you be with me? It's going to be so obvious. you're going to be, oh wow, there's no mystery around them at all. It's so obvious. And so they're going to send you some kind of message. I think it's going to be either text, email, something like that. And it's going to look as if they hadn't thought about this, that they just kind of sent you this quickly. Oh, please be with me, or whatever it is. They're actually going to be putting a lot of thought into how they speak to you. Now, I am seeing that you probably won't want to be with this person, but I am seeing that if you do say no to them, you might have to say no to them several times, because they're very, very determined. They're a very determined person. So I think they're very obvious in the way that they say, I really want to be with you. You're going to have to be just as obvious in the way that you say, I'm really sorry, but I really don't want this relationship. I really don't want to be with anyone right now. Whatever you choose to say. Obviously be nice and kind to them, whatever, but you're going to have to be quite obvious when you speak to them about that. And you might have to tell them several times. They're very, very determined, very, very determined. So just keep that in mind. That's what I'm seeing there. But the overall thing in this reading I'm getting is that thing that you feel really, really afraid of doing, that thing that makes you feel like, oh, I feel almost sick thinking about doing this thing, do that thing.